Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So, this is my last World Beyond review ever because the show is now officially over. And so I have some thoughts on it. I'm going to be doing a full series review. I'm not going to do a season 2 review because it just kind of feels like there's no point in doing that. I'm going to talk about the final episode here. Tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to do a full season review, or maybe I'll wait until like next Sunday or something like that. But I want to do a full series review seasons 1 and 2 all together. And then just kind of, I'm actually going to rate it out of 10, give my like final stamp on it, and just say like, this is how I would rate this entire show out of 10. And, you know, whether or not I would recommend the show to people, and whether or not it actually delivered on its promise. And, you know, the post-credit scene is still in my mind. It's such a big scene. It really is. And honestly, I know a lot of us wanted some Rick Grimes stuff. It kind of still was a Rick Grimes thing, though. But I think it is so much better. But there's going to be a lot to talk about in that video, so stay tuned for that. But in this one here, obviously, I wanted to talk about The Walking Dead World Beyond, because this is a show that, you know, up until really the last few weeks has been a very poor show. It hasn't really been that great, but it has changed it. And now we have the final episode here. And so, were there big deaths? What exactly happened here? And how did the story end? Was it satisfying? I'm going to give my thoughts on all that here. So, obviously, if you are new here, make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I will be posting my Fear video tomorrow. I actually don't have it available yet, so I'm going to watch it tomorrow sometime in the morning. I mean, it's really late in the morning here. I'm going to go sleep for a couple hours, and then I'll come back, I'll watch the episode, and then, I'll do my review and stuff for it. But a lot of big things here happened in this episode. So the episode, first of all, had a pretty slow start, I would say. You know, a lot of it there was a pretty big, I guess, change tonally, right? Like, I would say the previous episodes were more just like, here's this episode, and, you know, it was a continuation of events. This one really felt like they were on purposely, I guess because it was the end, but they were really trying to make it poetic, you know. And so I wonder if this is how they're going to do The Walking Dead, right? Because like, this is the first Walking Dead show to ever end. And so now I think we're always going to compare The Walking Dead or Fear or future Walking Dead shows that end to World Beyond, right? Obviously the next one's The Walking Dead, the main show. And if you look at World Beyond, you know, I will say it, you know, I never cared about these characters, but some of the scenes in this last episode here actually did kind of stir up some emotions with me a bit. You know, it really felt like they were best friends, and it actually kind of felt sad to say goodbye to the characters. I am thankful, right? Like after the fact, I am thankful. I'm not a big fan of the main cast at all, but it kind of felt sad for a bit, and they do a lot of scary things here. And I actually thought that Elton was going to die here in this episode. They really made it seem like it. And so, you know, I actually felt pretty sad about it. You know, I thought he was actually going to die. I was pretty shocked about it. There was just quite a bit of things that happened here. But again, slow start. They really focused on recapping the events of the series, and, you know, going back to that very first episode when they went through that door and their lives changed. And so it just kind of, you know, they more just cemented the fact that the show was about a bunch of kids trying to survive in the apocalypse. And so that's what they did, you know, and that's how the story ends. And I will say, in terms of that, I guess they did succeed. I'm not a fan of it, but they did succeed. Now, besides that, you know, obviously the main plot here and where episode 9 ends is that they got to plant the charges on those gas canisters. In this way, the Civic Republic can't attack Portland. And they do actually succeed in it. And really, it's because of Huck. You know, in the end, Huck was kind of the hero here, right? Like, Huck basically defeated the Civic Republic's plan here. And I do like how they handle it in the end, because in the end, you actually do see so much of the Civic Republic. They are just normal. It's like what they did was mostly just, yeah, they took their scientists. They are working on a cure separately, but they didn't take down the CRM at all, right? They just kind of like foiled their plan in terms of them trying to destroy Portland. But like overall, they didn't take this actual Civic Republic down. So I am very thankful for that, because that actually still makes them very threatening. So I think that worked. There was a lot of like Rick Grimes mentions here, not mentions, but actual like little nods to him. And a lot of it was through Jadis. You know, Jadis mentioned a lot here in this episode that she traded someone to get into the city. I think she mentioned it like 2 or 3 times. And like, obviously just hammering down the point that like she traded Rick to this place, someone very valuable. And that was her ticket to the city. And once she saw what the Civic Republic can actually become, she totally bought in and she wanted more of it. The Huck versus Jadis stuff was really great. And I will say, Jadis is actually, I think she actually made this show a lot better. If you take her out of the last few episodes, the last 5-6 episodes, this show wouldn't have lasted. There's no excitement there. She was totally needed. And if people say that she was a gimmick to get people, to watch this show, I would say no, not at all. She's a part of the Walking Dead universe. Like introducing her on the show. I mean, she's a part of the Civic Republic. It makes perfect sense. And, if you think of her actual story and what she served in terms of the overall plot with Elizabeth Kublek's ending, like it all made perfect sense. And so this is one of those things where they actually did a really great job here with Jadis overall. They actually used her as a pretty important part of the plot. But like I said earlier, Huck's dead. And I was very sad about that, to actually see Huck die. I wanted her to survive the series. And out of all the characters, that she was the one that I felt like, they're giving her a lot of screen time. It just really felt like that's where they were going. It honestly just kind of felt like that was the direction that they were going in. And it was just hard to, she's my favorite character on the show. And to see her go out in the way she did, I mean, she's a hero. She's a star of the show. And I'm going to miss her, honestly. I think she was the best part of World Beyond, besides Jadis. But even then, I'd say on par with Jadis, it was Huck. Huck was definitely the best character of the main cast by far. Like, there's a billion football fields in between her on that list and like the next character. She was the best character for sure. Like I said, Elton got bit. The whole thing with Elton getting bit, I thought was a little silly because it was so rushed. Like, he got bit and then it looked like he was going to die. And then the next scene, they show him with his arm off. And so they cut his arm off screen, which made no sense. And then a few scenes later, they confirm, oh, he's awake. So I'm like, what? I guess he has no arm now. But like that was just so fast for nothing. I don't know. Silas was forced to kill Dennis. And so we did get that. And then in the end, he does join the CRM. And so that was really the big deaths. It was Huck and Dennis, and Silas is now a Civic Republic soldier. So that's kind of cool. I totally saw him going in that direction. I called it a few episodes ago, but still really cool to see. And yeah, overall, it was kind of like in the beginning, again, it was a lot of like, it was a slow start, but it was a lot of like recapping the events of the series. When they got to the action stuff, the Huck versus Jadis thing was cool, but there wasn't a lot there. You did have Felix fighting that one Civic Republic soldier. You had little things here, but it didn't feel like this big showdown that I thought they were building to. So I will say that was definitely a letdown. It kind of happened a little too fast. And then all of a sudden we're like in this epilogue and we're saying goodbye to all the characters. So like, I don't know. I wasn't too big of a fan there. Iris and a few other characters are going to be going to Portland. So that's interesting. I'm really happy that we don't have to see that character or Hope or any of the other characters anymore. Especially just, yeah, I don't know. Iris and Hope are just, they're so frustrating to watch. So I'm glad that the show's over. I love the fact that Elizabeth Kublek is going to the Health and Welfare Complex. And we actually we know now that the Health and Welfare Complex is actually like a prison because we saw her in it. And so she's actually in a prison. So if Rick is there, which it seems like he's likely going to be there at first, Rick is actually going to be going into prison. So does he spend a lot of time there? Like that's actually pretty interesting. Like they did build the world here. And so, yeah, overall, I would say this episode really did serve as a goodbye to all these characters. There's Elizabeth Kublek. I think we could see her again. There's a few characters that they teased, could return in the future. But like this episode really feels disconnected from the previous ones. And it kind of felt sad that it was over because I thought there was going to be a lot more happening. But with what we got, though, it was kind of a beautiful ending. The World Beyond's over. Or the World Beyond's over. Damn, I'm tired. The Walking Dead World Beyond is over. I'm okay with it, to be honest. The show it's been, it's a lot of ups and downs, mostly a bunch of downs. The show has not been good. But this episode I thought was, I guess, a pretty solid ending. And I think if you did like these characters, if you really love the World Beyond from the beginning, I think this is actually a really solid ending here. So, I think they stuck the landing here. I think they did their job in terms of setting up the Rick Grimes movie and the universe. You look at everything overall, I think they did a really good job with it. And, that post-credit scene is obviously really exciting. So now I'm just really interested, like, when are they going to talk about some of the Rick movie stuff? Because World Beyond's over now. So now the next step is some Rick movie news, right? Talking about that, watching that movie. And so, yeah, now we're just going to look forward to Gimple's next appearance. So just kind of look forward to Talking Dead, because I think that's, if he's going to be on that episode in like, I guess, December 5th, then yeah, that's going to be very exciting. If Talking Dead's on that Sunday anyways. But I'm going to leave it here. Make sure to post all your thoughts down below. What did you think of the very last episode of World Beyond? And I'll see you guys in the next one.